Welcome to the 2025 Asia Pacific Photography Awards Newborn Category Top 10 Images. This category is for photographs where the main focus relates to newborn, a baby or babies under the age of 1 month old. Entries may include other people, animals, or other elements that give context to the story of the image. The subject does not need to be human for acceptance into this category. Entries may be traditional and/or interpretive. My name is Sarah McGregor and I am the panel chair for this judging session, and we have a wonderful panel of judges: Michelle Fay, Matt Palmer, Jo Francis Moore, Faru Yavari and Stacey Cavalier. We're going to start the category with a run through of our top 10 images. Can we have the first image, please? Thank you, judges. We have a silver award at 80. Can we have a comment from one of the judges, please? Faru?
Yeah, it's such a beautiful and peaceful image. The beautiful smile and the baby is really priceless. The lighting is very well handled. To improve the image, perhaps, or maybe I gave it 78 and I could go higher because the top of the bed is really bright and it's focused and sharp and just a bit compete with the beautiful face of the baby, maybe toning it down for a better result.
Thanks, Faru. Can we have the next image, please? Thank you, judges. We have an initial score of 86, a silver with merit, and we have a challenge from Jo Francis Moore.
Yeah, I gave this one a 90, just squeaked it into gold. I think it's a very, very well done, well crafted, symmetrical photo with such a lovely sense of calmness. I think the use of all of their arms is quite original. I mean, we've seen these sort of sweepy photos of babies curled up together before, but I haven't ever seen it with like two sets of arms. And it leads into the story of not just one set of twins, but maybe two sets of twins. Yeah, I think the babies themselves are beautifully posed. The lighting is sympathetic. It's got a soft, warm feel. I guess my only thing, I might have gone higher, but I feel like the lighting is a bit flat. But I also feel it's really hard to light when you have, two faces facing in the opposite directions. And yeah, and the skin tones have been pretty well handled as well.
Thanks, Jo. Faru, can we hear from you, please, and your score?
I gave it 82, and Jo, I'm really with you. I think it's the lighting is really hard to not getting it dimensional, and it's here is a flat, but it works with the color palette, it works with the concept as well. I really enjoy the placement of the hand. It creates such a protection and acting like a leading line and bring all attention to the center of the image. And because of that, I gave it silver. I feel like the baby, the second baby from the bottom, the face is a bit like squished, and it's not in a feeling in a nice angle as the baby in the top. So for that, it's just like I felt like I let it down a bit, but I'm listening. I maybe come up a couple of points higher, but not sure. Sitting in the silver with Marriott.
Thanks, Faru. Michelle, can we hear from you, please, and your score?
I scored this in 86 for those reasons. I do love the image though. It's very, very calming and the colors are all just nice. Yes, the baby's head could have been turned around just a tiny bit, but that is quite picky as well, because he's obviously, or she is obviously very comfortable and very asleep. And I kind of, the more I look at it, it's kind of like a village looking after these little babies. And I just like the placements of those arms are just exquisite. So yeah, I might come up a little bit more. I'm not sure if I'll make it all the way up, Jody, but I'm listening. Come on, convince me.
Okay, back to you, Jo.
Look at how beautifully those legs have lined up. As I'm sitting with this, I'm really seeing an embryo. So I feel like the maker of this photo has brought us quite a few different levels of twinness and of beginnings and of, the birth. Even the shape of it is quite birth-like. If that baby's face had been rotated much more, it might have been quite uncomfortable on its neck, Faru. This is actually really, really masterful newborn posing. There's not many people who can take twins and get this level of symmetry and this level of sort of perfection. Even the fact that we can't see any of the feet whatsoever, but those legs are absolutely perfectly symmetrically placed. There's a real level of talent to be able to create this level of mastery of newborn posing. And I think it's giving us that extra story with the feeling of it being an embryo, as well as a beautiful depiction of these two little babies. Yes, I might have gone higher had the lighting been a little bit more dynamic. I'm with you on that, Faru, but I don't feel like that's enough to pull it down out of gold. So I really encourage you to bring it up.
Thanks, Jo. Can we have the judges rescore, please? Well done. We have a gold at 90. Congratulations to the photographer. Can we have the next image, please? Thank you, judges. So we have an initial score of 79, so we need to take this image to review. So judges need to enter either a score of 79, which is a highly commended award, or 80, which is a silver award. Thank you, judges. The image stays at a highly commended 79. Congratulations to the photographer. Can I get someone to just give a comment to the photographer?
Yeah, I can do that if you like.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, I think what the photographer's done really well here is they've captured this really beautiful connection between the father and the child in the middle there. But in terms of the technique, the mother feels a little bit disconnected from the rest of the family because she's at the other side, and also because you can see how sharp her hair is, and then her face is slightly out of focus. So just a few technical things like that to bring it all together.
Thanks, Matt. Can we have the next image, please? So we have a score of 83, which is a silver award. Congratulations to the photographer. Michelle, do you want to comment on this one?
Congratulations on your silver award. It's a very beautiful image and the parents are going to be absolutely stoked to have this on their wall. Just a few little minor details. The balls within your flower arrangement are really bright. They have that bright spot where they've collected it off the flash. And my eye keeps getting drawn to those instead of the beautiful subject. And just watch that toe is just going into the face a little bit, but you've done a fantastic job. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Congratulations.
Thanks, Michelle. Can we have the next image, please? Thank you, judges. We have a score of 79, which is a highly commended award. Jo, do you want to challenge?
Yep, sure. I squeaked this into silver with a 73. I think this is a really beautifully serene photo. That baby's quite delightfully posed, and I think the styling is really successful in this photo in giving us that very dreamy, soft outdoor feel. There's a few things that I would I think could have been done to improve it, sure, and I would have scored it higher if it had those things. But overall, from complexity and sort of feel and tonality, I think it's a really successful piece, and I think it deserves to come to silver.
Thanks, Jo. Matt, could we hear from you?
Yeah, I saw all of those things as well. I like the feel of the image, even just having the baby holding the flower, it kind of brings the theme together a little bit. I think what held me back from going into the silver range, so I was in the highly commended range, is probably the abrupt shift of focus from particularly the tree stump, and then it shifts into focus very quickly. And this feels like perhaps a little bit more of an aperture would have softened that transition from focus to out of focus.
Thanks, Matt. Stacey, Farou's got her hand up.
To add to that, I give it 7.5 in highly commended, and I feel like it's very different from the normally we see from a newborn. It's really natural. It's just the baby is sleeping so peaceful. I'm in that part with you, Jo. However, I feel like the skin is really overdone, as everything is so natural. I would prefer the skin texture would be more obvious, and in some, I think it's really overdone, and its feeling is like more like a doll skin instead of the newborn skin. And also there's a big gap between a little gap, not big gap, between the two bottoms, and because it's in the center of the image, two bottom of the outfit, so it's just like all the time my eyes is going there, and I was like, it's easy could be fixed during the shoot. Some refinement requires, and yeah, I'm hearing.
Thanks, Farou. Stacey.
I really love the tonality of this as well, and that little pop of yellow just felt like it brought it together to me. So all those positive things that have been said, a bit like Matt, I was concerned by the not concerned, but you know, just put just a little bit by the very shallow depth of field, because the toes are out of focus. And I also felt that it felt a little bottom heavy with showing a lot of that log. I felt like I was drawn down towards the bottom and the darkness of the image, into that beautiful baby's face, which is absolutely sleeping very serenely.
Thanks, Stacey. Back to you, Jo.
Yeah, I do hear all of what you've said, and some of it I agree with. I actually think the skin is very classically edited for newborn photography. I mean, generally there's not a lot of texture in baby's skin at this age, but there is, if you look closely, there are still little flakes all over that baby's face. It's not been smoothed to no texture. You can still see little hairs, little flakes all over the baby's face. So I feel like it is quite representative of the genre of how these photos are edited when they're edited well. I also would have liked a little bit more depth of field, but again, that is a really classic newborn thing. The shoot is wide open as 1.8. But yeah, overall, I think that it's really technically difficult to photograph babies, newborn babies outside. And I feel like this photographer has brought us a very soft, serene, thoughtfully posed, thoughtfully, the palette's very thoughtful. There's a lot of thinking and, you know, gentleness that has gone into this image to give us this very delicate, serene photo of a baby outside. So I think that it deserves to be in silver, even if it's just a little silver, please.
Thank you. Judges, can you please rescore? Joe, hold your score of 83. Thank you. We have a silver award at 80. Well done, judges, and congratulations to the photographer. Can we have the next image, please? Thank you, judges. We've got quite consistent scoring there. We have a silver award at 82. Congratulations to the photographer. Would somebody like to comment on this one?
I will.
Thanks, Stacey.
Just this again, another example of really beautiful symmetry between these two twins. To get them at that almost exactly the same angle, sort of facing the camera, is really beautiful, with their you know, lips slightly parted and the hands in those same positions. I'm presuming that that's the parents' hand supporting them at the bottom, possibly dad's hand on the right, mum's hand on the left. But again, really cleverly posed and well thought out composition to have these two babies facing each other, so symmetrical and perfectly done. There's obviously a little bit of, again, you know, drop off in that focus as down at the bottom as the hands move backwards towards the light, but the lots and lots of detail in the foreground. So really well done to the photographer. It's beautiful.
Thanks, Stacey. Can we have the next image, please? Thank you, judges. We have a highly commended award at 78. Did you want to challenge, Joe? Were you happy with that?
Oh no, I'll challenge. I gave this an 80, so just tweaked it into silver again. Yeah, it's a really powerful photo. I felt like quite impacted when I saw it. It's incredibly tricky lighting conditions, and yet you know, we're brought right into the baby and to the baby's little face, and it's all nice and sharp and well focused and well lit. I love the fact that that is, I presume, dad's hand holding the baby's head with his little gritty, broken up fingernails. There's something so real and so authentic about that. And what feels like the midwife on the side there saying, look, that's right, you've got it, encouraging him and sort of helping him bring his baby into the world. Yeah, I would love to have seen this with a better crop. Personally, I would have gone higher if it had a better crop, but I feel like from a visceral, storytelling, impactful photo, I feel like this is really hitting all the marks to get a silver.
Thanks, Joe. Matt, can we hear from you, please?
Yeah, I placed it in highly commended for the same reasons. I think I appreciate all the difficulties in the lighting, having shot in hospitals before, but we still judge the photo that we're given, and here the highlights are very much on the top of the baby's head, and that kind of draws me more into that center of the image at the forehead rather than into the face itself. And also the lighting is quite flat, and I appreciate that that is how the lighting is, but that does affect the presentation of the image.
Thanks, Matt. Michelle, can we hear from you and your score, please?
I scored this 79, and mainly like for the crop just kept me down just a little bit. If you've got rid of a little bit of the left, it would keep drawing me out to the side, and also that highlight on the head. But it's a great capture. You've done really well.
Thanks, Michelle. Back to you, Joe.
Yeah, so I took off 20 whole points for the crop and the highlight, which I think is quite a lot. I think you just have to look at this and think of it from more as a documentary photo that is telling us a story, and I think it's a really beautiful, powerful story that it's telling. I think, you know, we've seen a lot of these crowning photos and a lot of photos of babies' heads and hands, but I feel like the fact that this is Dad's hand and he's got this whole story of how he's been guided into parenthood coming in from the right, I think it deserves a silver. So I encourage you to give it a few more points, please.
Thanks, Joe. Can we have the judges rescore, please? And we have a silver award at 80. Congratulations to the photographer. Can we have the next image, please? Thank you, judges. We have a silver with merit at 85. Congratulations to the photographer. Faru, would you like to comment?
What was the 85?
85, yes.
I thought I can fight for it even more, sorry. But definitely I'll make a comment. It's such a beautiful piece. The color palette is divine. The prop is very well spotted. All the flowers reminding me very Baroque era, and it's just like so many details you can find in this image. However, between all the details and styling, the baby's face is very well seen and it's very well posed, and the lighting is really perfect. It's kind of natural lighting. For me, it's like a combination of natural lighting and studio lighting at the same time. Could be true, could be not. However, I felt it's very well sit in silver with Marriott. If I wanted to just push this image to gold, I might think about cropping. Would be better if you had a better cropping from right and left. It's very well done. It's so beautiful. Congratulations to the photographer.
Thanks, Faru. Can we have the next image, please? Thank you, judges. We have a silver with merit at 87, and we have a challenge from Stacey.
Yeah. I gave this a 92. Just it's it's immediately recognizable as soon as the image pops up on screen. It's obviously the creation of Adam, and it's just so well done. It doesn't rely on heaps of crops of heaps and props of things to create that beautiful image. But we can, sorry. It's beautifully lit. The baby is really, really well posed. It's a really good representation of that wonderful piece of artwork. Even the colors of the background that are used on the baby are similar to what's in the piece of artwork. And then it is the creation of Adam, and the God's hand, if you like, is the mother. So the mother is creating the baby. Beautiful positioning of the hands. I think the narrative behind it is really, really strong. The lighting is beautiful. The posing is beautiful. It deserves. It's just a really clever creation. I think it deserves to be in that gold range.
Thanks, Stacey. Faru, can we hear from you, please?
Stacey, thanks for challenging. I gave it 83, and I was like thinking about should be silver in with Marriott, and then I'm all with you. The color palette is simple. It's close to the creation of Adam's painting. The mother hand is the playing on of God, and because mother is actually God, she's a creator. And the baby's face, the peaceful, the fingers, all perfectly placed, and the wrap, the choice of the color is really well done. However, I feel like it's the nail polish there is in the center, and his nail decor is just grabbing in my eye all the time. I know the client is coming with all sort of different things. Sometimes it's out of our hand, but maybe in post-production, maybe with a bit of dodge and burning, something that the photographer could somehow just makes it a bit invisible. That's really, maybe I'm a bit fussy, but that's keep me away from the silver with Marriott.
Thanks, Faru. Joe, can we hear from you, please?
Yeah, I gave it an 87, so exactly what it got. And I think it is definitely deserving of a silver merit because it is a fantastic story. It's very well posed. It's very well sort of constructed. What lets it down for me are the skin tones. I feel like there's a lot of green in the skin tones, and the overall lighting is quite flat. I feel like this image could be polished a little bit more and it would do so much better. Yeah, I think idea-wise, wonderful. I'm totally in agreement with Faru though. The nail polish is just a real distraction, and it doesn't add to the story. It's too modern as well. It kind of takes away from the timelessness of the photo. So yeah, I definitely feel quite comfortable with this being a high silver. But to take it to gold, I would need to see some of those sort of issues resolved.
Thanks, Joe. Stacey, back to you.
So I think that when you said the nail polish is too modern, is sort of where this photographer is coming from. I think this really is a modern take on recreating that image. So for me, the nail polish isn't a distraction. It is, you know, this is a modern photo, and it is a modern mother creating the new Adam. It's meant to be it's meant to be showing that it is you know, a modern female. So for me the lighting is really, really soft, and just complements really well that image. I think I don't see the green tone so much in the skin. I just see, you know, I think the skin tones work really well for me. It's a really, really clever creation. It is the creation of Adam, and I think the softness to it adds to the, you know, the delightfulness of it really. So yeah, come up with me to gold.
Stacey. Judges, can we have you rescore and Stacey hold your score at 92? And we have a gold award at 90. Congratulations to the photographer. Well done, panel. Can we have the next image, please? Thank you, judges. We have an initial score of 82 and a challenge available to Michelle.
I scored this 87, so just silver with merit, just because as soon as it popped up, it totally made me smile. There's a reason why I've just kept it a merit and haven't gone any higher, and I'm sure we can all see those, but the actual it just gave me the warm fuzzies. And we all know we have our favorite teddy bear. It's been wrapped up perfectly, the same as the baby. The baby's holding a cute little teddy bear that matches the hat. And it's just a nice different way of doing a newborn photo. And I really, really enjoyed it. And just be nice if you could come up a little bit.
Thanks, Michelle. Matt, could we hear from you, please?
Yeah, I put it into highly commended. It does have a warm atmosphere that works really well. I think with this kind of image, they benefit so much when you have repetition by not actually repeating visually the element or duplicating the element, but rather rephotographing it the amount of times you need to carry that message. So, for example, the wrap on every bear has the same patterning, meaning that it's been duplicated, and that there's a little stray hair of the bear over its eyes, and then you can tell that the bear's been duplicated as well. If you could take this concept a little further by perhaps introducing a little bit of variation, but still having the repetition of the bear, then that can help make it a lot more powerful.
Thanks, Matt. Stacey, do you want to comment on this one? Oh, Fru. Yep. We'll come to you afterwards, Fru.
Was it me?
Yep, go Stacey.
Okay. Yeah, I gave this an 84. It has got that lovely visual impact when it first comes up green, and the color palette with the browns and the blues are really complementary to each other, which is lovely. And the baby has been really posed really beautifully. What held me back was the same as Matt, with the repetition of the bears, and also that quite extreme out of focus area around the edge I find quite distracting. So yeah, that's where I am at the moment. I'm quite happy where it is.
Thank you. Fru, did you want to add a comment?
Yeah, I'm really with Matt and Stacey at that. To add to to this, I feel like there is a strong story here, and reputation perhaps maybe because the mother trying maybe 9 times and one the baby happened. And however, the reputation of same teddy bear and thing is just like make the story a bit unclear. And also I wanted to add to it is like baby's face is very soft compared to the teddy's bear, and it's just another thing technically keep me away. I give it 78, highly commended. I think the idea, the story is really strong, but it really needs to be more developed in terms of techniques and playing around. Yeah, but we are listening to as well.
Thanks, Fru. Back to you, Michelle.
Uphill battle, but I'll give it a crack. This photo just made me smile, and Fru bringing that into that, maybe she's tried 9 times and had 9 fails, and that just gives it a little bit more. Yes, I would have given it more if the teddy bears had been all individually photographed and not duplicated. But the thing is, your eyes still goes to that one baby rather than the 9 out, and then you can bring those other stories. Yes, I only gave it a silver with merit because the background was particularly on the right side, a little bit overdone, but it still brings your eye into that baby. There's so many stories that you could make from this, and the symmetry of it I really, really like. They've done a really good job, and it deserves a silver with merit, just a little bit more.
Thanks, Michelle. Judges, can we have you rescore, and Michelle, hold your score of 87? Thank you. The image stays at an 82. That is a silver award. Can we have the next image, please? Thank you, judges. We have a score of 84. Do you want to challenge Jo?
Yeah, I'll challenge that. I think this has been really thoughtfully constructed. All the colours are harmonious. We get the lovely story of the tree of life with the baby at the centre. The baby's been styled beautifully to go within the environment. The lighting is really lovely. It's got enough element, sort of direction to give us that punch, and to lead us straight to the heart of the photo. Yeah, I feel like in an era where people mostly just download backdrops and plop babies into them, this is a real piece of art that's been really carefully and thoughtfully put together. I gave it an 88. I definitely think it's worthy of a silver distinction. Yeah, I'd like to hear what you guys are thinking.
Thanks, Jo. Farouk, can we hear from you, please?
I give it 78, highly commended, because I felt like I really enjoyed the painterly look of this image. The color palette is really autumny, it's delicious. For me, I feel like lighting is not really worked with the concept. Lighting is coming from the right bottom of the image. However, it's the whole prop creating a tree, and you really wanted to see the true lighting which is coming from the sky. So it should be from the top right of the image, 45-degree lit the baby. So I think the lighting from the bottom is just let me down. And also I feel like if the baby is a bit rotated, so the head wouldn't be so, the feeling of the baby is so horizontal. If rotated, so the face would be a bit up. So I think like visually it sits better for me. There are so many details there, but I feel like the lighting is a bit disappointed for me.
Thanks, Farouk. Matt, can we hear from you, please?
Sure. I'll talk a little bit about the lighting. I agree with what you're saying, Farouk, but I feel like you could interpret it as being the last light of the day or something similar to that, where you do get sometimes the illuminated tree up against the dark sky. And so I feel like there is some grounding in nature for perhaps that kind of lighting that might not be as present in a studio. What I was on 85 and thinking of going higher. It's just there is a lot of attention to detail in terms of how the leaves have been used. But in some areas, for example, on the left, there's the same leaf that retains the same size and same orientation right next to each other. And then there's also two leaves falling from the tree that are also the same leaf, but just slightly reorientated. So when you are using the same elements, you really want to do some subtle switches in size and orientations and things, and be careful not to put things that are too similar beside each other. And that way you can kind of sell the magic a little bit more by using those techniques.
Thanks, Matt. Back to you, Jo.
Oh, I love your interpretation of the lighting, Matt. That's really beautiful. To me, the lighting works. I feel like we're just drawn straight into the baby, and into the face of the baby specifically, which is where we always want to go with newborn photography. Yeah, I just feel like it's a very well constructed piece. I feel like there's just so much gorgeous color harmony going on here. It is autumnal, it is restful. It would be really obvious to put that baby more upright, and I feel like we see that so often. I quite love the fact that this baby is in this more natural, organic pose. It goes along with the feeling of it being a nature image. This could have been an autumnal baby. It could have been in the autumn of someone's life that they got to have this baby, you know, a late baby. There's lots of little stories and layers you can read into here. Yeah, I just feel like it's a very thoughtful, beautiful piece of work that's going to have a real longevity for this family. So I encourage you to bring it up to silver distinction.
Thanks, Jo. Can we have the judges rescore, please? And we have an 85, which is a silver with merit. Congratulations to the photographer. And that is our last image for our live judging. A huge congratulations to all the finalists in the newborn category. A massive thank you to our judging panel for joining us today.